Thank you for tuning in to Koppen with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen, and we're with comic Mae Planert. Mae Planert, how the hell are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And then where can people find you do stand-up comedy on stage in New York City, and where can they find you online?
All right. So they can find me online at Twitter handle Planert Mae, mostly because I forgot the password for Mae Planert.
So is that still kind of out there? Do you think there is probably an old defunct account that just has nothing on it?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. But now I'm like pretty far in with this Planert Mae, so I'm sticking with it. And then Instagram at Mae_Planert.
Okay. And then your shows, you have a monthly show at the Stand?
I have a monthly show at the Stand called Borscht. Donates to local charities, so that's fun. So you can feel good about that. Listen, I'm just trying to get butts in seats, okay? I'll be real. Like, no, the charity. That's the most important thing.
And then you have a show at QED coming up.
I do have a show at QED coming up. All female lineup, I believe, which is cool. Used to being the interesting one, but I guess not. No, I'm just kidding. And then what else? I have a show at Yonkers, actually, at the end of the month. So, yeah, Yonkers Comedy Club at the end of the month.
Go catch her out there. I mean, her comedy plays well in Yonkers.
I guess so. I don't know.
Okay, real quick, what we're going to talk about is going to be a shorter episode, but we have, you've been in comedy for a while, and you are dating somebody who's been in comedy for a while, and he's a very notable comic, and I'll let you say his name at some point.
Sure.
But what's ridiculous about this is not that, you're dating a comic, because that's fairly normal, but the fact that you might be getting, I don't know, some blowback or some bizarre treatment just because you are dating a comic.
Sure.
A notable comic. What can you say about that?
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning, basically. Okay. I mean, my boyfriend has been in the scene for like 15 years, so he's, obviously he has accolades and all of these things. And so I have always wanted to be a comic. Yeah. And like even growing up, I actually just reset one of my passwords for like my something that I had, and like
she's forever resetting passwords. She still can't find Mae Planert on Twitter.
Oh my god, I know. And so I was resetting this password that I made like the security questions when I was in like 8th grade. Okay. And it was like, "What's your dream job?" And the answer was comedian.
Oh, cool.
And so I've always wanted to be a comedian. Okay. And I guess growing up like. I was super waspy, like a family that's sort of like, truly, I mean, honestly, where you have to fit into a businesswoman, a nurse. There's like specific jobs that you're supposed to have, quote unquote. And so I didn't even think of it as like a real possibility. Yeah. And it's really not a possible career for me. I mean, is it really a career? Yeah. I don't know if it's a career for most people. Yeah. That's a good point. But when I met Mark, I just sort of realized that...
And who's this Mark guy? We have yet to say his last name.
Mark Norman is his name.
All right. This Mark Norman fella, so yeah, he's a notable comic. But when you met Mark...
So when I met Mark, I just sort of realized that, hey, it's actually something that people can do. And it's like, it's not this huge... I mean, obviously it's a pipe dream in some ways, but like I can do this and I can be a part of this. And, it's not something that's completely... unrealistic. Like there are people that do this,
If you're in New York City, you can get on shows. It's weird. Yeah.
I was like, this schmuck is doing it. I'm just kidding. He's a very talented comedian. But yeah, I mean, it was really refreshing. And then so I kind of like, I didn't want to do the thing that he was doing for obvious reasons. Yeah. Like I just wanted to do my own thing. So I tried to like circumvent it by doing other things that are also creative.
Like, you were doing like sketch and improv, and so all that was just a creature of you trying to avoid the obvious, which is people talking shit because you're dating a comic.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And so actually I took an improv class, which was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, you have no control. I think I went once and never went back. It's like I did so much better at stand-up because you have control.
Exactly.
And you're not on a team with people who all want the limelight and the laughs.
Right. Yeah. And I hated it. I hated it so bad. And at the end of the class, the teacher was like, "Listen, have you tried stand-up? You seem like you'd be better at that." And I was like, "Fucking Christ, I know."
The teacher told you that?
Yes. Because she was like, "Listen, you're horrible at this. Okay, like let's go spade to spade."
What a teacher. She taught you, though, because it turns out you went into it. And I guess at that time we were like, yeah, I kind of want to go into that, but I feel a little bit weird about going into stand-up.
Totally. Okay. And so I actually, when I started stand-up, I was keeping it a secret from everybody, including Mark. Okay. So Mark...
that's fun.
Yeah. And it wasn't an issue because people were like, "What does he think you're doing at night? Does he think you're like cheating on him or something?" And I was like, "Well, he's out at night too."
Yeah, he's a busy dude.
He's a really busy dude. So like,
he's also all over the place, such that he'll bump into you accidentally, probably.
Right. Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are you doing here, Mae?
Yeah. Exactly.
You're doing a spot, huh? That's a little weird.
So I kept it a secret from him for as long as I could.
And how long was that?
About like 6 months, actually.
Good job.
Yeah.
So did you like play different boroughs? Like, did you know where he'd be that night, and you'd go to Brooklyn instead of the Village or something?
Well, I mean, at that time I was doing like open mics,
Yeah.
so it's not, and like no shows at all. So like,
so he wasn't even. You knew he wasn't going to an open mic that night,
he
right?
definitely was not going to be at an open
Well,
mic.
yeah, maybe years ago, because you've been with him for years.
Yes.
Many years, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been with him for about 5 years actually, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but then it took you 6 months. It took him 6 months to discover that. How did he discover it?
So we were on the same show. We got booked on the same show.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and he
it's
was
all
like,
virtue, right? Like, you're not getting anything from Mark because he's like, holy shit. So he just saw the show poster and his girlfriend was on there?
pretty much, yeah.
That is perfect. Great job. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the funniest fucking way to reveal it. That's that's the way only a comedian would reveal it. It shows you're truly a comedian.
Yeah, and right, exactly. And I'm so cagey about it because it's one of these double-edged swords where like when people find out that I date Mark, it's like, okay, if I go up and I do a good job, everyone's going to say Mark helped her.
How would he help you in that? Oh, like write your jokes for?
Yeah, exactly.
But I would think your jokes are like his jokes might be a certain style
Right.
or a certain content. Like a Mark Norman joke is a certain way, or
Right.
a Mae Planert joke must be totally different.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean,
Although you guys are in the same relationship, so it's like, dude, it's not biting. We're in the same fucking relationship. We're going. Last night we had an argument about the remote. That's why we're both talking about it right
Exactly.
now. Okay.
yeah, it's actually funny. Certain things have happened to both of us, like when we're together, and we'll have totally separate jokes about the same situation. Which
That's
is
cool.
interesting.
It shows
It's like,
perspective. You both have.
Yeah.
Man and woman have different perspectives.
yeah.
News
Men
at
and women are
8.
different.
Yeah.
Who knew?
News at 8, right?
Yeah.
And so but some people on the scene are thinking, okay, well, she has a funny joke. It's because of him.
Exactly.
Because he wrote it, and of course he doesn't help you at all.
Right.
Okay. And then you've been kind of careful to make sure he doesn't help you at all. Like, what are the kind of steps you're taking to ensure he can never fucking help you with a joke? You just can't even mention it to him what you're thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we definitely have like a policy. There's no bit doing in our house because then we would just be like, it's kind of like if we were both like teachers or something at the same school and we're like, let's not talk about work at home.
Yes.
So it's like one of those things where we try not to talk about comedy together because like I almost feel like it would be cheating in a way. And then at that point it's like, what's the point? If I'm either going to do this or I'm not going to do this. But
well, you would feel cheap getting laughs that Mark
wrote. Yeah, it's like, of course they're going to laugh. This is somebody who has done this for 15 years. He knows how to do a twist. He knows how to, catch people off guard so they have an audible response.
But so does Mae Planert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting there.
You're finding now that you're getting the laughs and you're earning those laughs because, Mark didn't help you write it. And, of course, he didn't help you get on the show because you guys discovered. Right. That's how he found out. He's like, holy fuck, she is on a show with me.
Exactly.
Okay. And then how do you make sure that, like, anybody, so that's the material. And as far as, what shows you're getting on, what steps are you taking to ensure that there's not even the appearance that he helped you get on a certain show?
I guess I'm not taking any steps.
Okay, I guess you guys probably interact with, like if you guys are up and about out in the city or whatever, you probably are interacting with other comedians and stuff. And so are you careful to avoid that kind of like, oh shit, we just met Matt Ruby or some shit. Like let's not hit up Matt Ruby to make sure,
Oh yeah.
Because you could be like, I'm Matt Ruby. I just met you 5 seconds ago with Mark. Put me on the show, right? And then maybe and also some people are thinking that they can get to you through Mark. Get to Mark through you. I said exactly the wrong thing.
Right. Well, I would say like I don't ask to be on shows. That's probably something that I should be doing because
they put you on the show.
Yeah, like and they might know me through like the open mic scene or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't ask to be put on shows, and I want to take things as slowly as I possibly can because. One thing that Mark has been helpful with is giving me like realistic timelines. He's like, within the first 5 years, you shouldn't be doing the X, Y, and Z is where you should be at.
Right.
And so I think it's really important for me not to rush. Okay. So like Matt Ruby is way out of my league, for example. Like I would never ask him to be on one of his. He would be like, "You're crazy. Like you're like
I'm Matt Ruby. Yeah. You can't get on my show."
Right, but he'd be like, "This is insane," so I'm very careful to take it slow and to like remain humble and like do the work.
And in that regard, you're kind of you find yourself with people, certain comedians that we've come into contact with, like the at the mic on what's that, Mike.
Oh, Mike Bramante.
Yeah, Mike Bramante brought you to my attention, such that it sounds like you found yourself a group of comedians in the city who were doing their own show, totally independent from Mark Norman, right?
Oh, yeah,
And so that's
totally.
one way to do it. Like you're kind of
Right.
making sure that the people you're interacting with, the comedians that you're interacting with, are not doing it because you know Mark.
Exactly.
Right.
And I also kind of look at it like this. Like, yes, we're playing the same sport. You know, we're both comedians. But, like, he's way up here and I'm way down here. Like, there's not a ton of overlap.
Yeah.
There is sometimes,
Okay.
but, and, like, his friends found out that I was actually on a show with Gary Veter.
Okay.
You know, I love him.
Oh, sure.
He's
I think
such
he's a
nice person.
well-known comic, right?
Yeah, he's a well-known comic. He's really funny and super nice, super sweet. And we were on the same show together, so that's how he found out. And he was like, "What is happening?" Like, you know. But I guess what was the point I was trying to make? There's not like a lot of overlap because I can really be in the trenches down and make my own name with the people around me and the people that I'm going to come up with. It's kind of like graduating classes.
Yeah.
You know?
So you were in Mike Bramante's graduating class, not Mark Norman's. Okay.
Right. Like Mark Norman doesn't really have much to do with me. And like where I'm at, because I'm so far below him, he can't even really get me the things that I would need to get right now to get better.
Right.
Like even if I did use it, because like I would. Like,
he got you the Tonight Show. You're like, I'm not really ready for the Tonight Show.
Right.
I don't think.
I would be like, I'm gonna fucking bomb on the Tonight Show. You
like,
know
thanks,
what I mean?
Mark. Thanks for that good advice. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to keep it as separate as possible, and like,
Okay.
for obvious reasons, but also like I want to take it slow. I think a lot of people when they first start out with comedy, they look at it like, okay, I need to get on this show. I need to have my own show to do this. I need to get into this club or whatever. And really, what they should be focusing on is getting really good so that when they are seen, it's a positive thing. Because Mark can get me something, but then if I bomb on it, what's the fucking point?
Then people will be like, see, she just got this show because of Mark, not because she's funny. Okay.
Exactly.
And then real quick, and we're going to wrap it up, but if he is in the majors, and he's probably on the all-star team, if there is such a thing in baseball, I think there is. You are AAA, AA? I don't even know the levels. Would you be the lowest professional?
I don't know.
Because you got the show at the Stand.
Yes.
And you got the show on QED with Natalie Cuomo.
Yes.
And so like you're probably you're professional, but you might be in the minors.
Yeah, I would say I'm in the farm league.
Okay.
That's what they say, right?
She's in the farm league, and you can find her at the Stand. You can find her at QED Astoria. And thank you so much, Mae Planert.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.